Today at Trilogy, I have what many would describe as their favourite Rolex GMT. This here is the Rolex GMT White Gold reference 126719 BLRO with the absolutely stunning and magnificent Meteorite dial. The Meteorite dial was released in 2019 with the latest Pepsi update in the white gold. This was when the 126719 reference was released, so it was available with the blue dial, or it still is actually, available with the blue dial and the Meteorite dial. The blue dial was cool, but we've obviously seen it in the past with the 116719 reference. It wasn't really much special, but it's, it's nice. Obviously had the updated movement with the 3285 caliber, which we'll dive into. But really the showstopper and something that was really unexpected from Rolex was this, the Meteorite dial. Absolutely stunning and magnificent. It's pretty much everyone's favourite dial across Rolex's lines. It's just beautiful, and it works really, really well on the Pepsi, I would say. In the Rolex world, the white gold Pepsi is a relatively new addition. It was first released in 2014. This came after 8 years of not actually having a Pepsi on the market at all, after the discontinuation of the previous 5-digit reference Rolex Pepsi in stainless steel, the 16710. That was discontinued in the early noughties, and then we didn't see another Pepsi until 2014 when Rolex released the previous generation to this watch, which was the 116719 BLRO, which you can see up on screen now. When that 116 reference was released, it filled the watch world with excitement. The Pepsi has always been a staple of the Rolex catalogue, a staple of the GMT, and something that people have always loved. So we was all big fans when that came out. It was about time Rolex reintroduced it. To reintroduce a Pepsi in a precious metal, in white gold, which is obviously the first time they've done it, was a bit of a surprise, but it was quite different. I think it was quite an honour to the Pepsi to be now available on a precious metal. The 116719, when it first came out, wasn't super popular. It was released on a black dial when it came out in 2014, but this was obviously changed to a blue dial later down the line. I believe the change to the blue dial was obviously to signify that it's white gold, because obviously now you can get the Pepsi in Jubilee or Oyster in stainless steel with the black dial, so they had to have it slightly different with the blue dial to distinguish it from the stainless steel version. So the Pepsi has got a long history with Rolex. Obviously the GMT was developed initially in 1954/55. Depends what sort of how you want to look at it. With Pan American Airways. So back in the 50s, Pan American Airways actually instructed Rolex that they needed a watch that could track 3 time zones for their long haul pilots. So Rolex came up with the GMT Master, and we had the red and blue to match Pan American Airways, but obviously the name Pepsi was subsequently adopted after that. Obviously there's been lots of improvements up until this point to get the GMT Master II. This now has the caliber 3285 movement, which still allows the tracking of 3 time zones, and has a 70-hour power reserve, so it's an absolutely fantastic movement and one of Rolex's best. I mean, it's still the one that we're obviously seeing in production today, so that's really good. In terms of pricing, really, Meteorite, obviously being cut from a prehistoric meteor, you'd imagine perhaps that it's super expensive, but the pricing may actually surprise you. It's not absolutely out of the way. When this watch was first released in 2019, it retailed for about 35 grand, which at the time is for a white gold full precious metal GMT watch, it wasn't crazy, especially with the Meteorite dial. From there, we've seen, the prices have risen steadily year on year. In the height of the watch market, the big bull run that we saw, which obviously, so the watch market has come down a little bit from then. These went up all the way up to about 70k, and people were still buying them because it is a super special watch and something that is absolutely unique to you if you have one. Even if you had pals that all had 5 of them, if you were to look at them, they would not all be exactly the same. And for that reason, I love Meteorite. Obviously, it does happen as well with Mother of Pearl being naturally occurring. However, I think Meteorite, for the fact that it comes as a meteor that hit Earth from prehistoric times, makes it even more important. And Mother of Pearl is also really cool and unique, but for me, I prefer Meteorite. And I think the public do as well, and you watch lovers. I mean, we saw it with the Daytona that was released in the Meteorite dials. These were really popular. As soon as they came out, they was 200k. There was 200k plus, and they've already been discontinued now. So that's one that's also doing really well. But for me, I really love this. I think the contrast with the Widmanstatten pattern, the red and blue Cerachron bezels works really well. And obviously they've come down a bit now. So that this one here is a 2022. We're asking $49,950 for it, and it would definitely sell for that. And if you watch my Daytona video, this actually comes with the white tag here, so this watch left the factory as a Meteorite dial. which is, you don't want any dial changes if you're spending money on something like this, so that's good to know as well. So you absolutely got a complete full set with this one. I would recommend something like this being a full set, which I think a lot more collectors are sort of thinking about day to day now. You do hear that question asked more, and I've had a few people comment on the fact that I've touched on it and sort of thanked me in that regard. But yeah, this is one of those watches that you would want that tag with, and it's definitely got it, as you can see. It's a beautiful piece. Even if you're not looking to buy it, please do come down to the store and take a look, because it's a marvellous piece. You don't see them very often. I'm very happy to see you watch collectors all the time and discuss it and sort of marvel at it with you. Thanks for tuning in to Trilogy. Let me know what you think about this stunning Meteorite dial in the comments below, and if you're looking for a new watch, don't forget to phone Frankie first.